Do you ever wonder if your story idea is strong enough to carry a whole novel or memoir? Maybe you're mid-draft, struggling to connect a lot of disparate scenes into one cohesive story. Or you have a habit of starting projects but never finishing them because your ideas fizzle out. Maybe you have too many ideas and can't corral them into one unified story. If that sounds like you, I just created a free, quick guide to nailing your story idea. In just 3 quick steps, you'll uncover the heart of your story, craft a one-sentence premise you can build your entire book on, and gain the clarity and confidence to keep going. Download yours at nancypanuccio.com/idea. That's Nancy with an I, Panuccio with 2 C's, nancypanuccio.com/idea. You want to create a writing space where exploration is safe. Don't worry about being good. Focus on being interested. Curiosity is a much better writing partner than confidence. Writer Unleashed is for you, a writer who has a story you want to bring onto the page and into the hearts and minds of readers. I'm Nancy Panuccio, writer, editor, and book coach. Each week, we'll explore techniques, mindsets, and inspiration for writing stories readers can't put down. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Now, let's begin. Most writers don't quit because of a lack of time, a lack of talent, or even a lack of technique. They quit because of something far sneakier, the belief that they're not good enough. Who am I to write this? This doesn't sound as good as I imagined. Everyone else seems to be writing better than I am. These are the thoughts that sneak in quietly and then hijack your writing confidence and your writing momentum. Most writers quit because of self-doubt. It's that moment when you're halfway through your draft and the voice in your head says, "This is terrible. I'm terrible. Why did I think I could write a book?" If you've been in that headspace, you know how quickly it can kill your momentum and stop you in your tracks. So today, I'm going to dismantle 3 of the most common myths that feed that self-doubt. And I'll give you something truer to hold on to replace those myths so you can keep writing even when your confidence tanks. But before we dive in, self-doubt is not a personal flaw. It's a universal part of doing creative work. It's especially loud for first-time writers because your ambition, your vision outpaces your current skill. You also care very deeply about your story. There's more at stake. And you've never walked this particular path before. And every story has its own path. So there's a gap, a confidence gap, and it's just the space between your vision and your ability right now, and it's a very normal place to be. So doubt doesn't mean that you don't have what it takes to be a writer or to write this particular story. It just means you're writing something that matters. There's a gap between what you want to create and what you feel capable of creating right now. And it shows up when your ambition outpaces your current skill, when you care deeply about the story you're telling, and when your writing reveals more of you than you're used to sharing. So if you're feeling that gap, it's not a red flag, it's a sign you're doing something that matters. So this gap in confidence doesn't mean that you're not cut out to be a writer. You most definitely are. It just means you're in the process of writing your story. So let's look at some myths that are undermining your confidence. Myth number one, real writers don't struggle like this. Well, the truth is, every writer wrestles with doubt, even published authors with multiple books behind them. It's easy to believe that real writers, people with book deals, multiple novels, or big awards, write with complete certainty, complete confidence, that they sit down at the keyboard, the words flow, and they arrive at the end without ever looking back. But that's like looking at a mountaintop and assuming the climber got there without breaking a sweat. What you don't see is everything that happened before they took the first step. They trained for months or even years, most likely years, to build stamina and strength. They studied the terrain to know the safest and most effective route. They gathered the right gear so that they're equipped for sudden weather or rough terrain. And they have formed a support team to carry the load, to troubleshoot, and encourage them when it gets hard. Even with all that preparation, the climb itself is still a series of challenges. The air thins and every step takes effort. Clouds roll in and hide the summit, making it hard to see the goal. The trail gets rocky, slippery, or forces you to double back and try a different path. And fatigue sets in, and you question whether you have what it takes to keep going. So every single climber faces these moments, no matter how many peaks they've summited before. Writing a book is no different. Every author, whether it's their first or their 15th, has to push through moments of exhaustion, uncertainty, and doubt. And guess what? Every single story you're going to start will have its own unique challenges. You will feel like a beginner all over again. You'll have more skill under your belt, more tools, more technique to navigate those challenges. But every book will have its own unique challenges. Every mountain and the conditions on that particular climb is different. So don't compare your mid-climb struggles to someone else's summit photo. That finished book you're admiring has weathered frustration, detours, and days when the writer wondered if they could make it at all. That final polished book has been through countless drafts, feedback from beta readers and mentors, and the hands of an editorial team. And yes, every writer, no matter how many books they've written, wrestles with doubt, sometimes right before the finish line. So doubt isn't proof that you're not good. It's proof that you're engaged. It's proof that you care about the work. So don't compare your rough draft to someone else's final product. Okay, myth number 2. If I were really talented, this would be easier. This myth is tricky because it sounds logical. If you were truly talented, surely writing would feel natural all the time, right? Or at least it wouldn't be such a struggle. Beautiful words would pour out of you. The story would just work. But here's the truth. Talent is not enough. It's just the starting point. Plenty of people are talented. That doesn't make them good. I think of talent as the urge to do something, the instinct to do it, the pull toward it, the way your body leans in when you hear a song you love or your fingers itch to put words on paper. It's the spark that makes you want to write in the first place. But a spark alone doesn't build a fire, and in writing, that fire is craft. It's like being naturally gifted at dance. You might have rhythm in your bones. You might have a natural ability to feel the music and an instinctive way your body responds to it. But if you've never trained, your body can't fully execute the moves you imagine, the moves you feel in your body. You might feel the grace and sweep of the music in your solar plexus, but your body doesn't yet know how to translate it. The shapes aren't there. The stamina isn't there. Writing is exactly the same. You might have an instinct for language, you might have a storyteller's imagination or an ear for dialogue, but without training your craft, the execution won't match your vision. You still need to learn the fundamentals, how to create layered characters, how to structure a story, how to build tension and stakes, how to pace a narrative. These aren't nice extras. They're the muscles you develop to match the music inside you. When you believe talent should make writing easy, you take every challenge as a sign you don't have enough talent. That's the dangerous part, because it can make you quit before your skills have time to catch up to your vision. Confidence isn't what gets you started. It's what gets built after you show up. You don't need confidence to write. You need consistency. You need curiosity. And you need to be willing to be bad at it for the time it takes to get better. You don't have to believe you're a great writer. You just have to keep writing long enough to prove your doubts wrong. Okay, on to myth number 3. I have to feel confident before I can keep going. This might be the most dangerous myth of all because it sounds so reasonable. If you don't feel ready, why keep going? But waiting for confidence before you write is like refusing to plant your garden until you can guarantee every seed will sprout. Gardeners know growth only happens after planting, watering, and tending. You trust the process even when you can't yet see results. Confidence is cultivated in the same way, through action, not through waiting. The longer you wait to feel ready, the more your project stalls. This shows up by over-editing the same pages, second-guessing your story, or maybe you hold back choices, and that only widens the gap between your vision and the finished book. The truth is, confidence isn't the fuel that starts the engine. It's what builds as you drive. So you don't have to feel like a great writer in order to write. You just have to keep going long enough for confidence to catch up. So to recap, here are myth-busting truths. Number 1, struggle doesn't mean you're not a real writer. Number 2, talent is just the beginning. It's just the spark. Skill and practice carry you through. And number 3, confidence is the result of writing. It's not a prerequisite. So you want to keep climbing, keep training, and keep planting. You want to create a writing space where exploration is safe. Don't worry about being good. Focus on being interested. Curiosity is a much better writing partner than confidence. If you're doubting yourself right now, remember, this is something Robert Hughes once said. The greater the artist, the greater the doubt. Perfect confidence is granted to the less talented as a consolation prize. Let me repeat that. The greater the artist, the greater the doubt. Perfect confidence is granted to the less talented as a consolation prize. So your doubt is not a warning to stop. It's a sign you're in the thick of making something that matters. Confidence will come. For now, just keep going. So there you have it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you know any writers who need some support in their writing, please share this episode or the Writer Unleashed podcast in general. And if you love what you're listening to, subscribe on your favorite listening platform. And if you're listening on Apple, please leave me a review. Reading how this podcast impacts your writing truly lights me up and helps me create topics for the show. Till next time, keep writing, and I'll talk to you soon.